Hello students, good morning everyone. Today we will discuss chapter number 3 in that lecture number 3. In the last video we have seen that what are the concept of dual beam CRO, dual trace CRO. Then also we will discuss specifications of CRO, applications of CRO. Okay, so today's class we'll move on to the contents are DSO and delay line. Detailedly we will discuss block diagram of DSO and also we will discuss the block diagram of delay line. Okay, so we'll move on to the one by one. So in this DSO we will discuss first the principle of DSO operation, and also DSO has three modes. First one is the roll mode, second one is the store mode, and third one is the hold or save mode. So what is the long form of DSO? So DSO stands for digital storage oscilloscope. DSO stands for digital storage oscilloscope. So compared to your normal CRO, that is the cathode ray oscilloscope, it is having some memory. DSO is having some memory. You can store the waveform, you can read and write, and also you can other specifications like rise time, fall time, duty cycle you can measure in DSO. But in the case of CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope, only you can measure the time period as well as what your amplitude. Okay, so the main function of this DSO is it is having some memory capacity. So that purpose DSO's name is called as a digital storage oscilloscope, because you can store some kind of the waveforms. So depends on the memory you can store. Okay, so what is the principle of DSO? The signal is to be stored, is digitized. The signal is to be stored and is digitized. Then it is stored into the digital memory. It is having some additional circuit is required to digitize. So if you want to digitize that one, it needs some circuit part, additional circuit part, and store the signal into the memory. The stored signal can be displayed by using conventional oscilloscope tube. Okay, so this is the this is the operating principle of DSO, digital storage oscilloscope. The signal is to be stored, is digitized, then it is stored into the digital memory. Additional circuit is required to digitize and store the signal into the memory, and the stored signal can be displayed by using conventional oscilloscope tube. Okay, so next we'll move on to the operation part. So what is the operation of DSO? So this is the block diagram of DSO. There are so many blocks. By using these blocks you are having some operation or working. So what is that operation? So first point, the input signal is applied to the input amplifier and attenuator section. Input amplifier and attenuator section. You already know what is the use of amplifier and attenuator. This input section is then amplified. This input section is amplified and attenuated as that in conventional oscilloscope. This signal is applied to the vertical amplifier. So that is the second block of that. After the input attenuator, we are having vertical amplifier. The output of vertical amplifier is connected to the analog to digital converter. So that is A to D converter. For that one, you are having sample and hold circuit. Fourth point, the main requirement of A to D converter is, that is analog to digital converter, is its speed and accuracy. You can use for what? Speed and accuracy, and also you can convert analog into digital. The digitized output is in the binary form and not in BCD form. Digital or digitized output is in the binary form, not in the BCD form. Next point, if a 12-bit converter is used, then the accuracy of about 0.1 percentage and the resolution 0.025 percentage is used. So this is the standard accuracy and resolution about 12-bit converter. Next point, digitized analog signal means take the samples of the input signal, so that is the sample and hold. Take the samples of the input signal at period intervals of time. So time wise you can take the samples and then send into the analog to digital converter. Okay, the sampling rate should be greater than twice the highest frequency present in the input signal. So sampling theorem is used. Here we are going to use the sampling theorem. So that is what the sampling rate should be greater than twice the highest frequency present in the input signal. If a 10-bit analog to digital converter is used, then the frequency response of 25 kilohertz is obtained. So this also you can use the standard. Next we'll move on to the memory. What is the memory? Total memory capacity of this DSO. The total memory storage capacity is 4096 for single channel, 2048 for two channels, and 1028 for four channels each you can use. So for single channel you can use 1024, two channels you can use 2048, and four channels you can use 4096. It is having some memory capacity, storage capacity. And the next point, the section of sampling rate and the memory size depends on the type of waveform being recorded. The selection of sampling rate and the memory size depends on the type of the waveform being recorded. As analog signal is sampled at suitable rates, the data power are readable on the memory, readable or write the memory or address. Once the signal is stored, required manipulation can be done. So this is the working operation or the block diagram of DSO. Okay, so next we'll move on to the DSO or the digital storage oscilloscope has three modes. First one is the roll mode, second one is the store mode, and third one is the hold or save mode. So we'll move on to the one by one. First one is the roll mode. So what is the use or what is the function or what is the briefly working of roll mode? In this mode, input signal is not triggered at all. So fast changing signal is displayed on the screen as if it is changing slowly. The stored signal is rolled across the screen from right to left. So this gives behavior of very slow moving signal. So in this mode, input signal is not triggered at all. So fast changing signal is displayed on the screen as if it is changing slowly, because you are not going to use it here trigger. So that's why you cannot display a higher frequency of the signal. So that's why it will move only from what? The signal will move from screen right to left. So that's why we can call this one as a very slow moving signal. Second one is the store mode. So what is the use or what is the function of store mode? It is also called as a refresh mode. Second point, once the trigger pulse is obtained, the memory write cycle is initiated. And the analog to digital converter converts the input signal into digital code. Already you are used in the block diagram of DSO, that is the read and write and the memory. So that is the data output and data in. Once the trigger pulse is obtained, the memory write cycle is initiated. The analog to digital converter converts input signal into digital code. Third point, when the memory is full, whenever you are going to store your waveform, when your DSO as memory is full, the memory write cycle stops. So whatever that write cycle is there, it will directly stops. And the digital stored signal is converted. Back to the analog with the help of digital to analog converter. So that is D2A, digital to analog converter. Already you know in the block diagram, you are user one block diagram, D2A converter. The signal is then displayed on the screen. When next trigger is received, the memory is refreshed or refilled with the next signal. Means what? So whenever you are going to receive some signal from that memory, it will refresh or refilled when it is in the next signal. If a trigger signal stops, so whenever it will stops by using trigger signal, then write cycle stops but read continues. Means what? Whenever you are going to stop your trigger signal, if the DSO is not collecting your trigger signal, whenever it stops, the write cycle also stops, but read will be the continue. Third one, hold or save mode. So what is the function of hold or save mode? When a new sweep signal when a new sweep signal from the time based circuit is received, then new contents are overwritten on the old contents. New contents are overwritten on the old contents. So whenever your memory is full, so I want to delete my memory because I want to write the new contents. So that purpose you can use it. It is the required to retain a particular signal in the memory. It is required to retain particular signal in the memory. Then overwriting should be stopped. This is obtained by using hold or save. So you have to remove. What is the meaning of this one? So you have to remove the old contents and you have to write the new contents. So that purpose also it needs memory. So that's why hold or save mode is there. So whatever that hold and save mode is there. So first you have to delete that old waveforms and then you have to overwritten, that is what you have to rewrite, means you need some new contents. So that purpose you have to use for what? Hold or save mode. So next we'll move on to the delay line. So what is the concept of delay line? There are two types of delay line. First one is the lumped parameter, second one is the distributed parameter. So what is that delay line? So this is the block diagram of delay line. So already you have seen in the block diagram of CRO, so that is the delay line is the one of the block of you're going to use it in CRO. The delay line is used to delay signal for some time in the vertical sections. Generally, a time delay of 200 nanosecond is provided to observe the leading edge of the waveform. As shown in the figure, you can use the 200 nanosecond. That is the delay line. And the figure shows the delay line circuit, the vertical deflecting, the time delay of 200 nanosecond is added. At the horizontal deflecting plates, the time delay is above 80 nanosecond. Thus, the horizontal sweep starts prior to the vertical sweeps. So, the leading edge of the waveform can be observed. So, as shown in the figure, you can observe two types of the delay lines. One is for what? 200 nanoseconds. Another one is for what? 80 nanosecond. One is for what? Vertical deflecting plates. Another one is for what? Horizontal deflecting plates. So 200 nanosecond is used for what? Vertical deflecting plates, and 80 nanosecond is used for what? Horizontal deflecting plates. And already you know what are the functions of trigger, sweep generator, and horizontal amplifier and vertical amplifier by using, you can observe in the separate one by one in the CRO, as well as what? Vertical subsystem, horizontal subsystem, and time based generators. Okay, so next we'll move on to the two types of delay lines. One is the lumped parameter delay line, another one is the distributed parameter delay line. So in lumped parameter delay line, as shown in the figure, so these are the equivalent circuits, different equivalent circuits we are going to use for what? Lumped parameter delay line. So this is not in our syllabus, but you have to focus what are the types of delay lines. So generally we'll study this one. First of all, it consists of cascaded symmetrical LC networks. It is also called as a T sections. T section. Each section is capable of delaying the signal by 3 to 6 nanosecond. Each section is having capable of delaying the signal by 3 to 6 nanosecond. So at the output side, you are having what? Impedance and output signal V0 and Z0. And L is the inductor and C is the capacitor, and at the input side you are going to use the voltage at the input. The T section is terminated into its characteristic impedance Z0, that is the Z0. So it acts as a low pass filter. So this is the basic concept of filter, low pass filter, types of one filter. The frequency up to which low pass filter passes the signal is called as a cutoff frequency, and it is denoted by Fc. The cutoff frequency for the LC network is given as a Fc is equal to 1 divided by pi root of L into C. If the input frequency is less than cutoff frequency, then the frequency is panned to the output, but it will be delayed by times Td. So Td, that is the delay time, 1 by pi fc is equal to the root of Lc, where Td is the time delay for one Lc network. So by connecting number of T sections, this time delay can be made n time Td. So Ts is equal to n into Td. Ts is the total delay and n is the number of T sections. So this is one of the example for what practical delay line, as well as what equivalent circuit diagram for what lumped parameter. So next we'll move on to the distributed parameter. So distributed parameter, it is basically a transmission line constructed with the help of helical coil and insulated network. It is specially manufactured by coaxial cable and it has high value inductance per unit length. The inductance of the delay line can be increased by winding the helical inner conductor on a ferromagnetic core, which increases the delay line Td and the characteristic impedance Z0. Distributed parameter. So this is one of the sample diagram by using two wire line and coaxial cable. So that is the distance or distributed. The transmission line may be conductive, that serves to guide energy from one point to the another point. So transmission line means what? Or in coaxial cable, you can transmit the energy from one point to the other point. So the input to the output. Normally, the transmission line consists of pair of straight conducting wires or a coaxial cables. Already, I said it is a coaxial cable and the insulators. Any linear conductor passes both inductive and resistance. Thank you.